So when you see President Trump say this and what you envision as being behind it tactically?
Well, I think it's the sign of a great leader who understands he's in a terrific political news cycle. He's run a really good campaign from start up to this point. And the left's mischaracterization of Project 2025 had become a liability. I think we've seen that really turn around in the last few days since that statement. So no hard feelings from any of us at Project 2025 about the statement, because we understand Trump is the standard bearer and he's making a political, tactical decision there.
Here's the thing. We the people get it. That's audio that was unearthed of the leader of Project 2025 discussing that. Wink, wink. Donald Trump's behind Project 2025, but he's got to now pretend that he's not with it in order to trick the voters. Newsflash, we the people aren't stupid. We know. You know how we know? We know when Donald Trump's shaking your hand and giving speeches and saying, I owe everything to you. That guy's Kevin Roberts, by the way, who runs Project 2025. Or when we see, by the way, Stephen Miller cutting ads for Project 2025, one of Donald Trump's top aides, when we see Donald Trump's spokesperson, Caroline Leavitt, cutting ads for Project 2025, when we look at the list of all of Donald Trump's advisors, and guess what? They all work for Project 2025. We get it. We get it. And wink, wink, perhaps your MAGA base, you can trick them and grift them and sell them $1,000 Trump bucks or Trump coins or Trump sneakers or Trump convicted felon T-shirts or whatever stupid thing you want to sell. But we the people get it. That was audio that was unearthed right there. How about this? When Kevin Robert, who's, again, the author of Project 2025, one of the leaders behind it, leader of the Heritage Foundation, where he again confirms that this is all just a ploy right now so that Trump can say he doesn't know anything about this in order to try to avoid the backlash of voters. Play this clip.
Back to President Trump for just a minute, Kevin. Is it your understanding that he has distanced himself from it because the left, because you brought up how much they've spent in demonizing Project 2025. Is it your understanding he's distanced himself from your project because they've successfully demonized Project 2025? Or is it because he has substantive policy disagreements with some of what you've recommended?
I think if you look at the spending against Project 2025 by the Biden campaign and whatever the affiliated super PACs have spent, it's the former.
These people are frauds. Everything they do is a fraud, is a lie. By the way, the number one most searched thing on Google in the world of politics, you know what it is? It's not what the corporate media is pushing. No, it ain't. You know what it is? Project 2025. Why? Because we, the people, want to know if there are secret plans to kill us. What a novel concept. We're interested to see if these right-wing extremists and a right-wing Supreme Court that's taken away women's reproductive rights, that's allowed bump stocks to spread like candy so there could be more school shootings with this ridiculous Supreme Court while guns are the number one killer of children in the United States of America, while the MAGA Republicans and the right-wing extremist Supreme Court says that Donald Trump could be a dictator, while they destroy the ability of agencies to do things like have common sense climate regulation. Well, all of that is going on. We, the people, want to know if you're coming up with policies to try to kill us and you're trying to hide it. It's an interesting thing, too, because Project 2025's the main author, the organization behind it, the Heritage Foundation, they're the main sponsor of the Republican National Convention. Wow. And then Donald Trump goes, I know nothing about this. Project 2025, what? What are we talking about here? I know nothing about Project 2025. I have not seen it. I have no idea who's in charge of it. And unlike our very well-received Republican platform, had nothing to do with it. Radical left Democrats are having a field day, however, trying to hook me into whatever policies are stated or said. It's pure disinformation on their part. By now, after all these years, everyone knows where I stand on everything. We know where you stand on the Epstein files. You're all over them. We know where you stand on being a sexual assaulter. We know where you stand on being on audio bragging about sexually assaulting women. We know where you stand on being a dictator on day one, which you say you want to be. We know where you stand on mocking the disabled. We know where you stand on mocking veterans, calling them suckers and losers. We know where you stand on democracy. You want to overthrow it. Here's Donald Trump in April 2022 and more unearthed video footage when Trump keynoted the Heritage Foundation. And he said, your agenda is my agenda. Here, play the clip.
Our country is going to hell. The critical job of institutions such as Heritage is to lay the groundwork, and Heritage does such an incredible job at that. This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detail plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America. And that's coming. That's coming.
By the way, here is Donald Trump's senior advisor, John McKinty, who helped draft Project 2025, explaining to Steve Bannon last July how Trump plans to implement Project 2025. Play the clip.
Tell us what you're doing at Heritage. You two are now working together. These guys have come up with a plan that on the victory, the third victory, the second term, we hit the deck plates runner, right? There's 4,000 appointees by a president, 4,000 to run the entire government. 1,000 of those, I think, have to be Senate confirmed. But 3,000 can start work day one. Walk through what you guys are doing. I know, and I keep asking, do you work for Johnny or does Johnny work for you, right?
I definitely work for John. So what we're doing with Project 2025 is we're recruiting the MAGA America First Republicans right now so that we can take DC by storm in 2025. We're not going to go in like we did in 2017, where the establishment took over and co-opted much of the personnel of President Trump's administration. We're more prepared this time. We're recruiting grassroots conservatives, and we want all of you, if you want to serve in the next White House, next State Department, next Pentagon, we want you to sign up. Tell your sons, tell your daughters, tell all your friends. It's project2025.org.
So, Johnny, okay, you heard that? If you guys want to serve, you've got to get engaged now. You've got to be involved now, because one of the big parts of this is networking. It's not just training people up, but those networks that we do with grassroots organizations, with other organizations. Walk through, tell me what the plan is.
So we're collecting resumes. We're getting as much information as we can now to save the transition time on the back end. As you know, when a president wins, or president-elect wins, things happen very quickly, and you have a short amount of time to staff an entire administration. It's also looking beyond the 4,000 and what we can do with the bureaucracy itself. So we're thinking of creative policy things as well that will integrate with this.
Well, hold it. When we talk about that, let's talk about schedule. I mean, is there going to be a plan in place to start to take apart the administrative state?
There has to be, and yes, there will be. The next president, if President Trump gets back in there, he needs to reorient the government that's in a way that hasn't been seen since Franklin Roosevelt did it with the New Deal. We need to gut these agencies. We need to start from scratch. We need to make a new government, essentially, because the one that we have now doesn't work for conservatives. It wasn't made for us. It's built against us. So we have to go back to the drawing board with these agencies.
Johnny,
And here's Steve Bannon salivating over the implementation of Project 2025 to begin mass deportations in the United States on day one, where they're going to round up anyone who doesn't look like Steve Bannon or Donald Trump. They're going to round up Americans. Here's Steve Bannon. Play this clip.
This is why we talk so much about like Project 2025. That this is where the work gets done. These radicals have gamed the system so that we get 10 million illegal alien invaders. And no, they're not newcomers. Newcomers would imply that they're going to stick around. They're not sticking around. They're going to get mass deportations are going to start. If you don't like that, then don't vote for President Trump.
Here is Trump operative echoing Project 2025. Play this clip.
Which I totally agree, because I think a revolution is coming, and I want it to be a right-wing one, not a left-wing revolution. I think, when I mean revolution, I think all the institutions are about to be
we talk about that in this as
well. It's coming. You could feel it in the air. There's something that's about to bounce.
What I would say, though, the way I would frame it is that's a counter-revolution. And so
we think it's a correction.
Correct. And yet,
meaning it's a recentering.
So what we see,
but it does have revolutionary spirit.
Precisely.
And notice what they talk about: revolution. We're starting a revolution against the United States. Man, I just want to go to the movies with my family. I want to read a book. I want to go for walks outside. I want to spend time with my family. I'm not trying you to do a revolution against our democracy. But that's what these Trumpers are. These Trump operatives bragging that they want some right-wing revolution to destroy this incredible American democracy. Here's the Project 2025 leader threatening us and saying that we're in the process of a second American revolution, which will be bloodless if the left lets us. Otherwise, it'll be bloody. Are they threatening us? You threatening us? Play the clip.
That we are in the process of the second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Here's Donald Trump shaking hands and praising the guy in charge of Project 2025. Play the clip.
Heritage Foundation president, somebody else doing an unbelievable job. He's bringing it back to levels it's never seen. Dr. Kevin Roberts. Kevin, thank you, Kevin.
You could take a screenshot of this right here. We've showed this image before throughout our social media channels. But this is what Project 2025, is. It's everything from eliminating your Social Security, privatizing Medicare, giving more tax cuts to the billionaires, reversing anything relating to dealing with climate change, completely outlawing IVF, completely outlawing contraception, completely outlawing anything related to allowing women to have access to reproductive care, to have reproductive freedom, banning that, the strictest of abortion bans, people like Kevin Roberts, Steve Bannon, Donald Trump making decisions over your body, all January 6th insurrectionists to be pardoned, eliminating everybody who works at the government unless they take a loyalty test and pledge that they will do whatever Donald Trump tells them to do, mass deportation of immigrants, reinstating Donald Trump's Muslim ban, repealing anything to do with student debt relief, totally abolishing the Affordable Care Act, taking away your health care. That's what read it. Go Google Project 2025. Just read what it says. If you don't believe me, go read what they want to do. Read it. And here's what, by the way, and I'm glad that Democrats in Congress like Ro Khanna are calling these people out. Take a look at Ro Khanna this past week or two, questioning the author, one of the authors of Project 2025. This is what you support, huh? Here, play the clip.
I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm saying for a fact, so you support the idea that Donald Trump could come in, hypothetically, if he wins the election, fire 50,000 civil employees and replace them with people who support his ideology.
I support the Schedule F idea, yes.
And that means that if he wants to take civil servants from the Justice Department, State Department, and from the Department of Homeland Security, and he says they aren't sufficiently for MAGA, I want to fire these folks, 50,000 of them, and replace them with people more aligned with MAGA, he would have the ability to do that. Currently, there are only 4,000 political appointees. You want him to have the authority, if he wins the election, to have 50,000 people replaced, correct?
It's a lesser civil service regime. It's not the same as political appointees, but political policy responsiveness is appropriate when it comes to any employee who touches on public policy, which the Schedule F class would.
I'm directionally correct. I mean, I think American people should decide whether they want that or not. You're basically saying he should have the ability to fire up to 50,000 people if they're not doing what his ideology is, and replace them with people more consistent with his ideology, and reclassify these folks as Schedule F, correct?
100%.
Thank you.
Here again is the planner of Project 2025, John McKinty, talking about repealing the 19th Amendment, which gives women the right to vote. Play the clip.
I don't want to complicate, but just look at this right-wing Project 2025. Oh, but it's really focused on, you heard about it. It's a blueprint for the second Trump term.
Here's President Biden at that historic speech, incredible speech he gave in Michigan. Project 2025 and Donald Trump's intentions. Play the clip.
I don't want to complicate, but just look at this right-wing Project 2025. Oh, but it's really focused on, you heard about it. It's a blueprint for the second Trump term that every American should read and understand. Now, of course, Trump is lying about it now. He tries to distance himself, just like he's trying to distance himself from overturning Roe v. Wade, because he knows how toxic it is. But we're not going to let that happen, and the press shouldn't either. Project 2025 is run and paid for by Trump people, his top policy people, his campaign press secretary, his personal bag man in the White House, the biggest funders and more. It was a project built for Trump. Folks, Project 2025 is the biggest attack on our system of government and our personal freedom that has ever been proposed in the history of this country. And here's the nightmare, what it would unleash. Trump Project 2025 will criminalize the shipping of abortion medication, anywhere to deny contraceptive covers, allow a ban nationwide. That's what Project 2025 is calling about. Project 2025 will deploy the Department of Justice to prosecute Trump's enemies. And that's a real deal. Trump's enemies. Trump himself calls his campaign a campaign, that's what he calls it, revenge and retribution. That's what he says. Well, Trump's 2025 project will eliminate the civil service. No, I'm serious, not a joke, read it. And he'll allow him to hire tens of thousands of civil servants that are running only because they support Trump. They have to take a loyalty oath to Trump beforehand. Folks, that's not the United States of America. Trump's 2025 project will cut Social Security and Medicare, rip away protections for pre-existing health conditions, will eliminate $35 a month cap on insulin, allowing drug companies to jack up the prices back up to $400 a month. Stop Medicare from negotiating lower drug prices. And by the way, I got criticized for taking on taking on the drug companies, the pharma, for that. Well, it's not damn right, it's all right. But by the way, you know what it did? When I won, it cut the federal budget by $160 billion.
There you have it, folks. Hit subscribe. I'm feeling momentum now. Let's get to 3 million together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.